Well, I would say that I'm at a loss for words, but I'm really not. Let's go ahead and talk about this. In case you guys didn't notice, Xbox broke the news today on the internet that the Xbox Game Pass tiers are going to be changing in their names, and also they're going to be changing in price. Just a side note before we even get started, I think it's a little weird that they're just copying the PlayStation tier names, except for, the last one. They're changing, their core to Essential, which is what PlayStation Plus changed to, PlayStation Plus Essential. And then they're changing Standard to Premium, which is like, that's the top one for the PlayStation Plus. And then they're leaving Ultimate as the top one for Xbox. But it's weird they're going 3 tiers. It's kind of like literally modeling after PlayStation, and they're using some of the exact same names and everything. Complete side note, but the big news story is that basically the top tier of Game Pass, which is the one that was the original Game Pass, the only way to play the Xbox games on day one, is going from $20 a month, increasing 50% in price to $30 a month, or $360 a year. Hey guys, let me tell you this. That is quite expensive, and it's 100% more expensive than if you just bought games. Because the problem with Game Pass, there's a ton of different problems, from the dev side to how it affects game studios to how it affects customer buying habits. You could go down all those rabbit holes forever, but in reality, the people that I know who have Game Pass, it's almost like you use it as like a trial demo service. You just play some games and people pop in, and they have data for this as well. You pop in, you play a game for a little bit, realize you don't really like it, and move on. In reality, especially in terms of like what the average consumer does versus like hardcore gamers, the average consumer, I think there was a study from like Circana or something, they only play like 1 or 2 games a year, if that. So it's like, obviously you could just buy the discs cheaper and have the games and own them forever on the PlayStation or on the Switch or whatever you play, and that would be cheaper than paying $360 a year for a rental service of games you don't own. But even if you played a couple of games, realistically, if you're a core gamer, there's only like 1 or 2 games you could play per month, and at that point, it's like you could just buy the games and own them. Like, this is no longer cheaper. But the reason I want to make this video and talk about this update is, like, I've been busting on Microsoft for years. If you guys go back on my channel when Phil Spencer said good games won't sell their console, I made videos about that. I've made other videos about Microsoft. They have made so many missteps, you can't even count them all. It's crazy. And this is coming from someone, right now, I feel like I've backed the right horse. I'm with PlayStation. We make PlayStation games. That's my PlayStation 5 back there. That's the one I play the most and enjoy the most. But I have tried to work with Xbox because I'm a full-time indie game developer, and that's how I make money. I've released one of my famous puzzle games called Tilting Tiles on Xbox, and from the things that I learned after releasing my game on Xbox, I realized that they have a lot of problems internally with how they treat and manage releases with developers that are not really seen from the outside. If you've been following my channel, I've been predicting, or if people ask me questions, I've been telling people that the downfall of Xbox is here and that they're not going to last much longer. I've been saying it all year through my live streams and to people in my Discord that I give Xbox as a brand maybe 2 solid years, barring some insane turnaround. If they completely revert and change course on how they're handling everything, they absolutely could stay in business because they have the money to do that. It's Microsoft. They have a bunch of big money. They could make the right decisions and do another console right, but I just don't think that they're smart enough to do that, because obviously they keep continuing to double down and go in the wrong direction and lose money and lay off people. But I just think this is another nail in the coffin. Also this year, if you guys remember, they laid off like 15,000 employees at Microsoft. I think 6,000 of those, don't quote me on that, were in the Xbox arena, something like that, and they freed up those employees so they can make room for AI. They're firing people so they can try to have computers automate their work. Terrible way to run a company. And then after that, they price hiked the Xbox once, and now they've price hiked it again. So now the 5-year-old Xbox Series X is now $650. Guys, that is insane. This console came out in 2020, and it came out for $500 back then. Nobody bought it back then. Barely anyone bought it. It's just so hard to fathom that like the Xbox has barely sold any units compared to Switch and PlayStation, and no one was even buying it when they were putting it on sale. They were putting it on sale for $400 regularly, or $450, I think, in those Christmas times, something like that. And they were still having trouble selling it. And now they've raised the price twice to where the base Xbox Series X is now $150 more than the original launch price 5 years ago. And the one with the extra storage is $200 more, or no, is that $300 more? I don't know what the original launch is, but it costs $800. So you're looking at a range between $650 and $800 for a non-upgraded console. Like the PlayStation 5 released a PS5 Pro, but you actually get an upgraded console with that, with, you know, new specs and new features and things like that. And yeah, it costs $750. But that would be like, in terms of PlayStation, that would be like them releasing a regular base PS5 with a disk drive and 2 terabytes of storage for $800. Everyone would laugh them out of existence, basically. It's just crazy. So basically, they've raised the price so much to where like no one is going to buy it. They already didn't have that many people buying it. All their games are now releasing on PlayStation. They already all released on PC. So you now don't need an Xbox to play Xbox games. It's the most expensive system humanly possible. You can't really play physical games on it. They're skipping out physical releases for a ton of their games, and it's basically just all digital at this point. And then on top of all of that, the only thing that they had going for them is Xbox Game Pass. Now, today, the news story, reason why we're making this video, is 50% price increase. It's absolutely crazy. They're making a product for literally no one. There's nothing for anyone. You just don't need an Xbox. It's just like Game Pass is unsustainable. It's not profitable. A lot of people are canceling their subscription. I'll throw it up here. You know, Wario64 made a post. It's pretty funny. The website actually crashed on the cancellation page because so many people were trying to cancel their subscriptions today. I just don't even know where to begin. This is absolutely crazy. Let me know in the comments down below, what do you think of Xbox? Do you still own an Xbox? I can't even get over it. Like, I'm not really sure who the product is for at this point. You know, if you have one, let me know in the comments down below why you have one. If you have one, are you considering switching and selling it to get a PlayStation, for instance? In my opinion, that would be the smartest thing to do, is to go ahead and get rid of it while there's still some value, some trade value, you know, maybe some eBay value you could get out of it, and get the PlayStation before it has another price hike, because who knows, they probably will too. Maybe they'll try to keep it at one. I know they're trying to rework the model basically so they can kind of cut costs in other ways. But yeah, we're in an insane time in the video game industry. I had to make a video about this because it just feels like I've been saying this forever, that Microsoft is on the slope of decline, and I've been trying to steer people away in the development arena, because a lot of people come to my channel and they ask me, hey, you know, where should I release games? What should I do? And like, you should just stay away from Microsoft with a 10-foot pole. So let me know in the comments down below, do you own an Xbox? What do you think of this news? Are you a current Game Pass subscriber? Are you going to continue subscribing to Game Pass at $30 a month? Is there still value there for you? It's now more expensive than basically all of the video streaming subscription services. Let me know in the comments below. How about we do this? Before I end this video, everyone who's watched to the end of this video about the Microsoft doom and gloom, put a comment down below and put the exact date when you think that Xbox is going to announce that they are done and they are not making another console, and that they are just quote unquote irrelevant. Let's go ahead and predict your death of Xbox down below. I'm sure that'll get lots of hate, but yeah, realistically speaking, leave that comment down below. I got to give a huge shout out to everybody who supports TreeFall Studios on patreon.com. I got to give a personal shout out to Mandy, Shark and Minnow, Thomas Stewart, Mr. Troy, Jamil DeBeer, Joe Nana, and Space My Name. I believe that should be everybody. Thank you guys for what you do for TreeFall Studios on patreon.com. I already made 2 new videos this morning already, a new devlog on Pitterpot Cursed Thicket and a new live stream on the game, so you can go check those out if you missed them. This is just off the cusp. I had to talk about it because Xbox, what are you doing? I just don't even understand. This is crazy. If you're a game developer, this is not the horse you need to back. I'll just go ahead and say that now. If you're making a game for Xbox, you might want to rethink that. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next video.